Hi, I'm Philippe Lundstedt, CEO of ProCare Consulting, and I'm known as the Insurance Guru. The reason I'm known as the Insurance Guru is because I'm going to tell you the things the insurance companies, they don't want you to know. Okay, I'm going to reveal those secrets. I'm going to reveal those amazing strategies that get you to where you want to be. And in one of my previous videos, I talked about an HMO and I really explained some of the positives and negatives about an HMO. And today I want to talk about the other contract that exists, especially when it comes to Medicare Advantage. And for this purpose, I'm going to talk about Medicare PPOs, Medicare Advantage PPOs, and I'll do a different segment on individual PPOs. They're very different, what happens in the individual world and what happens in the Medicare world. And again, just to recap, the reason things are different in the Medicare world is because Medicare Advantage is funded and regulated by the federal government, CMS, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And because of that's happening, Medicare is making these companies follow very specific rules. So when they're getting reimbursements in the here in the state of Florida, and let's cover that again. How do Medicare Advantage companies get funded? Well, they get funded by Medicare, and Medicare in the state of Florida is giving about $1,000 per person per month in the state of Florida. So if they're getting $1,000 per month, every single person in the state of Florida that's on Medicare Advantage, about 3 million people on Medicare Advantage in the state of Florida. On that basic average right there, we're looking at $3 billion per month, which is roughly about $36 billion per year, coming into the state of Florida just for Medicare Advantage alone. And what's that money for? Well, it's for you. That's right. Because the insurance companies, they can only keep 18% as profit, and the rest they have to spend on the plan. So the Medicare is actually putting a lot of regulations, a lot of checks and balances on these insurance companies to make sure that they're staying on the straight and narrow. So it's really important that you understand how these PPOs work. And by the way, a PPO stands for a Preferred Provider Organization. And what that means, it's a program where you're able to see any doctor you want. Oh, wow. Big promise alert right there, right? Any doctor you want. Let's cover that. Guys, in the United States of America, there's only two kinds of doctors. There are doctors that take your insurance and doctors that don't take your insurance. It is very few times that you run into a doctor who says to you, well, maybe I take your insurance, I'll tell you later. It's very rare. Typically, the first thing they ask us when we walk into a doctor's office is, hey, listen, what kind of insurance do you have, right? That's like the first thing that, hey, how good, hopefully they give you a good morning, a hello, something of that nature. Most of the times, it's right to business, right? They're asking you what kind of insurance do you have, and they're letting you know whether it's in or out of network, and if it's out of network, they're asking you for cash money, right? Easily understood. Well, on a PPO program, you can go to both in and out of network doctors. And in case you didn't catch up yet, that means all doctors, because doctors that take your insurance are in network. Doctors that don't take your insurance, those doctors are out of network, and you can see both of them. Now, when you go to in-network doctors on a PPO, it is less expensive. If you go out of the network, it's a little bit more expensive. Depending on where you live and depending on the PPO products that exist, you'll be able to see the different in-network and out-of-network co-payments, co-insurances, or what we call your share of cost, okay? On PPOs, it's important that you have it's important to understand and have the expectation that your share of cost is going to be higher than those people that are on HMO policies. HMO policies, very low share of cost because you're losing some of that freedom. And on a PPO, because you can go to any doctor you want, you're gaining a lot of that freedom, but you have a higher cost. So on the positive side, you have all this freedom. You go to any doctor you want. You don't need a referral. You can go in and out of network. Very, very strong product. Very large in-networks as well, so you do get a lot of savings in-network because there's large in-network policies. Depending on the company that you're with, they're going to include major hospital facilities, maybe some of the major cancer facilities that you want to see as well. They're a little bit more coveted, a little bit more private. So PPOs could really work for you depending on what your situation is. Now, I have a lot of people that get on PPOs just for the idea of a PPO, right? Just the idea of being able to go out of network. Because really the value of a PPO is the fact that you can go out of network. That is the intrinsic value. That is what makes a PPO so amazing. And even if you're not doing it, it's the idea of being able to do it. You see, it's the idea of having the choice. You say no one wants to get cancer, but if you did get cancer, you may want to have the choice to get a second opinion from whomever you want. Now, I see on an HMO, it's not going to work that way. On a PPO, it could. Because you can get a choice, you can get a second opinion from anybody you want. I'll give you a great example. I had a client in Lakewood Ranch, which is just south of Land O' Lakes. It's down in the Sarasota area. And it's actually borders Manatee County and Sarasota County. And I have a client down there that was diagnosed 7 years ago with pancreatic cancer. and she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She went to a local superstar place called Moffitt Cancer Center. Moffitt Cancer Center said that there's not much we can do for you. She did not like that answer. She was on a Medicare Advantage policy. She decided to go to Sloan and Kettering, which is, in my opinion, and the opinion of many other people, the best cancer hospital in the world. It is by far factual, the oldest cancer hospital in the world and the first cancer hospital in the world. It is located in Manhattan, and it is extremely expensive to go there, and needless to say, it is out of network. So this person went out of network. Her max out of pocket, remember, max out of pocket is maximum out of pocket, the MOOP, the M-O-O-P, the MOOP. The max out of pocket on that program was $10,000. So she received a $6 million surgery and paid $10,000 for it. Now, if you heard me, she had pancreatic cancer, which is one of the worst cancers you can get. It's almost a death sentence. It's a 2% survival ratio. And she was able to go to a place that specializes in saving people's lives, and she's living today. She plays tennis almost every single day. She's in phenomenal shape. She's living a healthy, active life and a passionate life at that. And it all came because she had that freedom of choice. So it really worked for her. Now, there's a lot of people that are on PPOs that aren't using the PPO, right? So are you using your PPO? You're not using PPO. Do you know the value of what you have? Or are you still on an old product? Because here's the problem with PPOs. They will create PPOs, regional PPOs, and then they will create secondary PPOs called local PPOs. But nobody's really letting you know that this is happening. So are you on the old PPO or are you on the new PPO? This is a legitimate question. That used to be a sales ploy, right? Are you on the old plan or the new plan? You driving the new car or the old car, right? And maybe it's only 6 months between. But in Medicare, that really exists because every single year, these insurance programs, they're changing and they're introducing new programs. And sometimes you're not paying attention to that mail, you're not paying attention to much that's going on, or maybe you've got a broker or an agent that doesn't contact you. Or when you do contact him, he says, no, everything's good, just stay where you're at, because they don't want to do their job and present more products to you because they already earned your business. Now, I'm a firm believer that the person you do business with is more important than anything else. It's more important than the company you choose or the plan you choose. Because the person you do business with is the person that's providing you the strategies, explaining to you how the programs work, and setting your expectations. So it's really important before you choose a PPO that you understand how the plan works and you have the right expectations. And the strength of a PPO is the fact that you can go outside of the network and that you don't need referrals, right? That would be a perceived power of a PPO. But see, I don't think the non-referral thing is a power of a PPO. Really, the power of the PPO is the size of that network, okay? If you're seeing a lot of doctors, and the availability to go outside of the network and see second opinions, other doctors for regular services. So guys, that's my wrap on a PPO. It's really simple and really easy. The PPO is the easiest one to explain because it's just a lot of freedom, but it's got higher share of cost. This is a wonderful plan. I have got hundreds of people on PPOs. I've dealt with thousands and thousands of people on PPOs in my career. And I tell you right now, it's a beautiful product and it can work for you. Just make sure that you're getting the right information, and you should be getting that information, of course, from a broker. Here at ProCare, we would love to help you. We've got tons of brokers on standby waiting to hear from you. Our phone number is located right on the bottom of the screen. Of course, you can always click the link as well and go straight to a special offer that I have for you attached to this video. And you can always visit me at procare.consulting and schedule a one-on-one visit with one of our professional brokers. Guys, thank you so much. Stay blessed. Have an amazing day, and here's to your health.